Right, so yeah, it's day 17, and again, I'm just going to go off the top of my head today because I somehow am able to make these long. Don't know how, I can just keep talking. So I might need to start a podcast at some point, but yeah, today, again, like similar to the last 2 days, I've just been working, man. Honestly, I don't know where it's kind of come from, but my work ethic is just like skyrocketed the last few days. I don't know why. It's just, I think it's this series. It's made my work ethic so much better because I want to have the best thing to report back to you at the end of the day. Because if I go through my day doing jack shit all day and then I come to this recording and I'm like, yeah, I didn't do shit today, this thing's just gonna die, this series. So yeah, I mean, today I'm somehow able to just lock in for long periods of time out of nowhere. I used to be shit at it, and now I'm just doing it, man, and it's good. So anyway, I woke up late again. Yes, it's bad. I need to wake up earlier, but I mean, it's what you do with the time that you're awake. So the time that I was awake, it was good. I did a good amount of stuff. I got another load of leads. I outreached to a load of leads as well on Twitter, which right now, if you don't know, the most valuable thing that we can do as a company is outreach, because if you don't do outreach, you're not going to get sales. And I've said this so many times, but you don't do outreach, you don't actually put your business in front of people, then how are people going to buy your product, right? So doing that, and yeah, it's literally just that, because everything on the back end sorted. So I feel like a broken record saying this because I've said it so many times, but yeah, today I went to a coffee shop and just sat there for ages, just filling in a spreadsheet, outreaching to people and doing that. Yeah, so I did that, and now the last few hours, I got back and I just had my head down doing. So I can hear someone banging around upstairs. I just got my head down doing some things, and also just kind of being, it's going to sound hippie, kind of mindful about everything that I'm doing. It's just going to sound so obvious, right? But what's the point? Like, yeah, it's going to come out of nowhere. If you're trying to achieve goals, if I'm trying to get to 10K a month, right? Yeah, I'm getting to 10K a month. What am I getting out of getting to 10K a month? Like, I just want to get to a goal, which is, yeah, it's good to get to 10K a month, but you need a reason to get to that goal, because you're going to get to 10K a month. Cool, but what does 10K a month actually do for you, you know? This is going to sound so dumb, and it probably will sound incredibly stupid. I want to have a drink of this water. But if you're playing a match of football, so soccer, and there's no goal to score in, what do? There's no outcome, right? There's nothing you're working towards. You need to have something you're working towards. And I know it sounds so dumb, but yes, it's good to have 10K a month, and yes, you could say that as the goal. But the real goal is what comes from that 10K a month. So what comes from scoring a goal in football is a win, right? And this is going to sound so stupid, but so the same thing goes with what I'm doing. What actually comes with getting to 10K a month, you know? Like freedom, time freedom. You can do whatever you want in your own time. You can treat other people. You can buy certain things. You can do certain things that you weren't able to do before. I wouldn't say you're under you're under less stress, because you just acquire new problems and new stresses. But there's a reason why you want to get to 10K a month, and it's the things that come with that, and it's also the social status. I think that's sadly what a lot of people kind of work towards over anything else, is social status more than anything. They want to look good and show off and look like they want to be that guy in front of everyone. They want everyone to think that they're that guy. Oh my god, this guy's successful, when other people were talking about them. So I think you need to have goals that are more fulfilling than just getting a new Lamborghini so everyone can see you in a Lamborghini. Yeah, it's good initially, but like after that first few times, everyone realizes you've got a Lamborghini, you're on to the next thing. So you need to have an actual goal that you've set in mind. To which I have just waffled, and I think I've just said something incredibly obvious, but yeah, I went to the coffee shop, finished that, and then walked around the city for a bit. And I walked to the front. If you go on my Instagram story, I was like a nice video of this guy playing the guitar on the front in Porto, which is where I'm living right now, if you haven't been watching the series. But I was there, and I thought to myself, you know what, I'm just going to go to this restaurant, which is like relatively close to my apartment, and just sit there with just a notepad. The restaurant only accepts cash. So I got into my apartment, dropped my bag off with my laptop. Then I went out with literally just this notepad, this pen, and 20 euros in cash. That's literally all I had. And went to the restaurant, got food, whatever. And then I just sat there journaling random stuff because of this goal thing I've just kind of said. So yeah, I won't give you the exact things that I've written down because I mean it's not exactly like I don't really care if you find out, but it's just private sheet, no? It's not private, but I actually wouldn't care. But anyway, what I wrote down were these things. It just kind of clears up everything in your mind, and it clears up all of the stresses rather than them just being marbles, like metaphorically, marbles just rolling around your head. You've like set them all out in place, and you actually know, okay, this is what I'm worried about, this is why I'm worried about it, and this is what I can do about it, kind of thing. So what I've written down is I've written down a bullet point list of what I want. So for example, time freedom, financial freedom, take my whole family onto a family holiday. And by whole family, I don't just mean my sister, my mum and my dad, although that would be nice, I would do that as well. But I mean renting out a house in like a nice country for like a week, and then all of my like family flying out to live there. That would be the dream. So that would be nice. It's just things like that, and also that it just kind of gives me a reason why I wanna do this thing, but also to be free and not be kind of like tied down, and to enjoy life as best as I can, which I'll get onto at some point because that's a whole different topic. But yeah, I wrote what I want, and then bullet point list of that. How does someone act? No, sorry, I've crossed this out. How do I act when I have that? So how do I act when I've accomplished these things? When I've accomplished time freedom, how do I act? Like, how does a millionaire act, right? I kind of went over this yesterday. So I wrote down exactly how they act. And there's not actually that many points that are dissimilar to what I do now. And I'm not saying I'm perfect now, but it's actually not as hard as you would think. It's use time intentionally. Of course, I've said this so many times. Do one thing at a time. Use stimulants intentionally, so like phone, whatever. Again, I feel like I'm just being so toxic productivity, nailing on everything here. But and I feel like a broken record the amount of times I've said this kind of stuff. But yeah, have things to do in free time intentionally. So in your free time, I've said this. I kind of said this yesterday. In your free time, you have free time. You can spend your free time doing going on your phone. Most people just fill that void with their phone. If they just get bored or they've got free time. I mean, unless you sit there and watch Netflix, right, and you just put Netflix on. Even most people, when they're watching Netflix, they don't actually watch Netflix. They're sat there on their phone with Netflix on in the background, right? Because everyone's that fucking addicted to this shit. So what I'm saying is have things that you can do in your free time that you know in advance are somewhat productive, or just not just a waste of time. Right? There's only a finite amount of time you have on this planet, so you may as well spend it intentionally. Otherwise, you're going to look back and be like, why the fuck did I spend 4 hours a day every single day on my phone? Because I think I did the stats. It was like if you're spending 4 hours on your phone every day, that's like 36 hours a week, something along those lines, 32 hours a week, like 5 days a month, which is almost a week every month, and then a certain amount of days a year. I think I wrote in my video. But if you're spending 4 hours a day on your phone, and that's like people spend more than that easily. 4 hours is like the average. You're wasting so much of your time, man, and you don't get anything from it. So I think it's just best to be conscious, because right now everyone's stuck in such a hole of going on social media that it's like, why? Like, they just do it, you know? They've just kind of got in the habit of doing it, and because it feels good and it's easy to do, they just do it. So I have the same problem. I'm just kind of speaking from experience, and I know I'm not perfect in any regard, but if I was perfect, this is exactly what I'd be doing. So I'm writing it down so I can be conscious of it. So yeah, the second thing I wrote down is how do I act when I have that? So how do I act when I am a millionaire, or I am time free of my time? Things like that. How do I actually act at that point? And then you've got to act like that now, you know? So that's number 2, just build a bullet point list of that. Then you have things to do in your free time. So when you have free time, to do it intentionally, right? Even if it's unproductive, right? What to do rather than just unconsciously picking up your phone and just scrolling on it, doom scrolling for hours. What do I do in my free time? Read books. Sit there and think with your own thoughts, because no one fucking does that. No one actually likes sitting there with their own thoughts. Everyone's trying to avoid that. That's why everyone goes on their phone so much. That's another reason. Journal, maybe. Watch movies. Yes, it's not productive, but it's more productive than doom scrolling on your phone. Like, it's okay to do that kind of stuff every now and then. Watch educational content, and then I've put reply to people, but don't get distracted. Doing batching. So what I mean by that is reply to people on my phone, but do it in batches. Otherwise, the amount of times I've gone on my phone, you go onto Instagram to reply to someone, or you check your DMs, and then you start scrolling on Instagram, and then you go onto Snapchat to see if you've got any messages on there. You start scrolling through bloody Snapchat Spotlight or whatever. Then you do the same thing on whatever, and you just find yourself wasting so much time. And I feel bad about this, because I'm talking about this. I feel like every video is the same at the moment, but it's really just the problem that I'm trying to get over, and I'm just being vocal of it. So if you get value from it, cool. If you're getting bored of it, I'm not surprised, but I'm just really trying to ingrain it into my head that this is what I've got to do. And this is just a video documentary of me doing it, basically. So yeah. So in my free time, I obviously put watch educational content or read books. And if you were to look and say, would I like to be educated on everything that is a worthy skill or a worthy thing that's important and of value in my life? The answer would always be yes, but no one's willing to put the time into actually learning those things. They'd much rather do stuff that's a lot more instantly gratifying than learning how to be a good salesman, or how to do their taxes well, or how real estate works, or how human psychology works, or any of these important skills that will serve you so well in life. So I've written down, what do I want to be educated on, to which I then read books and watch educational content on those things in my free time. So what do I want to be educated on? I would literally read all of these off. These are just off the top of my head. Sales, negotiation, money/finances, in brackets, credit, debt, etc. Investing, tax avoidance, taxes, real estate, influence/persuasion, human psychology, mind and how to conquer your mind, and how to like think and stuff. I was kind of relating to books like Thinking Fast and Slow. I can't remember who wrote that, but it's things like that, like how to actually think and be clear thinking about things. And there's another one called 50 Rules for Life or something. That book's really good. I can't remember. It's like a white book. It's got like a gold circle in the middle. I think it's Thinking Clearly. Is it called Thinking Clearly? I don't know. If you looked it up, it'll probably come up if you looked that up actually. How to lead a team, so how to be a good leader. Storytelling, and this one could be cringe, but stoicism. So learning about these topics. Because if you know about all these topics, man, you're going to be such a high value person. And I know I'm talking like, I really do feel like I'm talking as if I'm the biggest red pill guru ever, literally copying and pasting everything that anyone in the red pill space says. But it's just true. It is true. Like if you could learn all of these skills, I think there was a thing that if you spend 18 minutes a day for 100 days learning a skill, you're going to be better than 99% of people that know of everyone that does that skill. Sorry. So if you spend 18 minutes a day for 100 days learning about sales, you're going to be better than 95% of people in the world at sales. So it's stuff like that. If you can just spend a bit of time every day learning about sales, negotiation, money, investing, tax avoidance, taxes, real estate, influence/persuasion, human psychology, mind, and how to conquer your mind, how to be a good leader, storytelling, stoicism. There's obviously ones that I've missed, but those are just ones that came up in my head. If you can be good at those and know key principles around them, and just be like quick thinking about certain things, and just know this, rather than have to be like a little guy who's like, oh, how do I do my taxes on Google all the time? And you actually know or have a pretty clear understanding of it. You're going to be ahead of everyone, because a lot of people just don't learn about this stuff, I think. So if you can learn about this stuff, you're going to be, it doesn't even take that much effort. You've just got to get into the habit of reading books. Reading books was the best thing I ever did. Genuinely. I've learned so much from reading books, like so much. I think I must have read about 70 books in the last 3-4 years, probably more than that. That was a very vague number, but I've written book reviews on a lot of them. But if you saw my bookshelf at my house, there's probably about, I don't know, like 400 quid's worth of books there. Probably more actually, because if each book's 10 quid. Yeah, I've got so many books, man. I can't recommend reading enough. It's so valuable. So good. Anyway, yeah, and then I wrote to do right now. So what I'm doing right now and what I'm focusing on and what I should be spending my time on. And also, while I'm worried about things or like anxious about things, why am I anxious? And most of them track back to what are the to-dos right now and am I disregarding them and am I not doing them or doing them as best as I can? And if most of the time I'm not, so which then I work on them and then the anxiety of it drops. But yeah, it's outreach, fulfillment, agency, whatever. Consistently posting on YouTube, so that's literally 1 video a day, which is these, and I'm also going to be doing other videos as well, which are edited with a thumbnail, like proper videos, and then gym/workout/play tennis. I'm not doing that at the moment. If you watched the last video, you will know the closest gym to me is a 45-minute walk. I'm in Porto right now. I know I've said this so many times, but I don't know how I'm in downtown Porto and the closest gym to me is a 45-minute walk. But it is, and I'm not walking an hour and a half every day just to go to the gym and then spend an hour and a half in the gym. That's like 3 hours of my day gone. I know it sounds like an excuse. It probably is an excuse, but I just work out when I go home. I mean, I'm literally leaving here in, I think it's 7 days today. Yeah, 7 days tomorrow. So a week tomorrow, I'm leaving, and then I'm going around Europe somewhat for like 5 days, and then coming home. But yeah, and then below that I've put, know what I'm going to do every day to get closer to fulfilling my goals. So it's literally just 4 things that I've written here. Like for the average person, it will be, or just most people, it would be like studying on my exams, studying for my exams, or studying, getting the best grades I can. Maybe working on your business or whatever it is you're doing if you're trying to do something on the side. And then working out. I think those are just the main 3. Simple as that. So yeah, if you're worried about what you should be doing with your time, I think those are easy feelings. Like you're like, okay, what can I do how can I study a bit more now? How can I build my business a bit more now? Or how can I work out now? If you don't want to do those, then rather than avoiding thinking about what you can do, just go and do something like, I don't know, read a book or even watch a movie. Just do something that's intentional rather than, anything's better. Anything is better than going on your phone and just going like this. Anything, literally anything. It could be anything. Even watching sports highlights on YouTube, anything is better than that, because it keeps frying your brain. It gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse the more you do it. So yeah, I feel like I'm a 20-year-old giving life advice here. I feel like I don't have much credibility, but I don't need to put myself down. I just feel like I'm talking about stuff that I feel I've got a bit of imposter syndrome. But I mean, it's just my take on stuff, and it's kind of like a daily thing anyway. So if you take value from everything I'm saying, good. But I'm literally just venting myself. And then below that, I've got daily non-negotiables. So these are right now. These aren't going to be for the rest of my life. These are right now. So we've got 50 times influencer outreach, 50 times influencer marketing, leads. I'm not doing outreach because that is automated. There's no point outreaching to them manually. I can just put all the email addresses into a system, and then they send them off. It sends them off. Workout, which I'm not doing at the moment, I know, but I will be when I'm home, and I will be reporting back to you every day that I've done that. Client fulfillment, 1 YouTube video, which is these, and then reply to emails for a 5 to 15 minute period minimum every day. And then below that, I have put, if I just do these, nothing bad will ever happen, which it won't, because these are the most important parts of everything that I'm doing. Yes, there's always things that I can do on top of those, but if I complete these every single day, there's nothing that I should really be worried about in terms of, am I doing enough? Obviously I can be doing more, yes, but I'll never go to bed with that feeling, shit, I didn't do anything today. Fuck, I'm gonna get fucked, basically. So you kind of, it gives you that clear state of mind. If you do all of those things, it's like, okay, fine. I'm good. I think that's literally everything I wrote. So if you can, yeah, I'll put it in the description of all the, like, there's 5 different things of topics, and then you just bullet point them all. So I'll just go through them real quick. I'm not going to tell you what I've put on. So you've got what I want, so the goals that you want to achieve in the future. They can either be next year, they can be 10 years down the line, but a reason why, like your main purpose for why you're doing what you're doing. Then how do I act when I have those goals, when I've achieved those goals? How does a person that has achieved those goals act? Cool, and then you bullet point them. Things to do in your free time. So when you have a void of time to fill, say, I don't know, you finish something and you're just waiting, or you're waiting to leave, or you're waiting for something. What can I do in my free time rather than scrolling on social media? I'm not saying don't ever go on social media. Yeah, if you want to use social media, it's fine, but just don't get trapped in it. That's my kind of take. I'm kind of talking, I've said this so many times, I'm talking from my own experience about this, by the way. But yeah, things to do in your free time, so that are somewhat productive rather than just doom scrolling. What do I want to be educated on? So in those free time moments, what videos or books can I read on topics that, like, what topics do I want to learn in those books or in those videos? So sales negotiation, those are the kind of topics I want about there. And then to-dos right now, so the things you're worried about. So I kind of said, for the average person, it's studying, maybe starting a business on the side, or just stuff that you kind of want to do, whatever, outside of your studying or anything else that's important. And then gym and working out. Because, I mean, if you're not active, then, yeah, I mean, I don't go to the gym often, but I play tennis like 6 times a week. So I can be let off. It's not great, but when I get home, I'll start going to the gym more because it's cold, and I'm not going to be playing tennis as much because it's not summer anymore. And then daily non-negotiables. So the things that you can go to bed thinking, okay, I've done the bare minimum today, that's fine. Obviously, you want to do more. Bare minimum sounds like shit, but if you're doing all of these things every day, nothing's going to go bad, you know? Like, that's fine. I'm going to be at least here. I'm not going to be going like that. I'm going to be here or going like that. So, yeah, it's just the act of showing up every day. So, with that said, that is what I did today. Obviously, I did some lead stuff. I sent out some LinkedIn stuff. Chased some stuff up because I need some. There's meant to be this AI. My voice is meant to be getting turned into AI at the moment, which I don't know how long it's going to take until that's done. But that's going to be reading out a free bit of information that we're sending out via email, like a free bit of value to get a reply. You're saying, hey, we've got this free strategy. I'd love to show it to you. Are you against that? Are you opposed to that? Are you interested in that? Whatever, they reply. An easy answer, if you just put the option of yes/no, then they have an easy email to reply to. They don't have to think about their reply, therefore they won't procrastinate replying. They will just reply straight away. They reply with, say, just yes. Then you can just send them a PDF, or you can send them a Blinkist of the PDF, to which they then don't have to read this massive Bible of text, and they can just press play, and it's my voice in AI talking about the thing that's in the PDF, literally just reading the PDF, but in voice, and it's AI of my voice. It's pretty cool, I gotta say. But yeah, that's what we're doing at the moment. So we go again tomorrow. Another thing I wanted to say, I'm lead sourcing at the moment. These things aren't too important, but I'm lead sourcing at the moment, and doing so, I'm getting influencers, as you know. Doing that, you go on their YouTube channel, you go into their about section, you go onto view email address, so their business email address that you email. Every time I'm getting, are you a robot, right? And I'm not complaining, I know that's just standard, but there's this one thing I was thinking about this whole time, and I was like, what am I going to talk about in this video? And I'm like, I'm gonna mention this. There's this bit, you know, when it's the am I a robot, or how I'm proving I'm not a robot? And it's just a photo of, let's say traffic lights, right? And there's, I think it's 3 by 3, so it's 9 squares. And the traffic lights are in like, there's a little speck of traffic light in like the bottom or the right one. And the amount of times you don't know which one to, like whether to press it or not. I'm just sat there like, right, do I have to click this speck of traffic light or not? At the bottom, it's like 3 pixels of traffic light, and I'm like, do I have to click this or not? And then it fails, and then I've got to do it again, and then it fails, and then it's going to be a bus, and then it'll fail again, and then it will be all right because then I've just got to click the images of a crosswalk. But mate, it's the most annoying thing. It takes so much time because I'm just like, pressing random things and it just says I'm wrong all the time. Anyway, I had to get that off my chest. It was pissing me off. Yeah, so I'm sure you've had that experience before, but yeah, I think they've kind of updated you. We go again tomorrow. These kind of things that I've said, getting the leads, making some things, outreach, replying. Basically, that's the most valuable thing I can do at the moment. Because if you're not outreaching, I'm not going to get 10k a month. It's not just going to come from nothing. You've got to have people that pay that price, and you got to give them value. They give you the value back, and to which that value is money, and then the money is going to eventually give me 10k a month at some point. But yeah, there was another thing I wanted to go over. So I went into this restaurant earlier. It was a sushi restaurant. It was like a Japanese restaurant. It's close to my apartment, and it looks really nice, and it is really nice. Well, it doesn't look really nice inside. It's not like amazing. It's not like Nobu looking, right? But it's not bad. Anyway, it's besides the point. I go in there, and the food is unreal, and it's good price. But I'm sat there. I'm sat here, and then there's two guys sat to my left, and then on the far side of them, there are these two guys who, first of all, they were pissing me off because they walked in thinking like they were some next level fashion model, right? This one guy, he thinks he's like, why am I even talking about this, man? It was just, there's a reason why I'm telling you this, right? He's got like a sweatshirt hoodie. He's got a hoodie on, but he thinks that he's got a low body fat percentage and he's got a bit of muscle. I wouldn't say he's big, but he had a bit. There was a bit of definition. It was minimal, but it was there. So he has a vest on and he has a hoodie. The hoodie is on his head. He's got his left arm in the hoodie, but his right arm isn't in the hoodie. Like the hoodie's resting on his shoulder here, but it's still over his head. And he had it like this the whole time he was in the restaurant. It was really pissing me off. People are gonna watch me like, why, mate? Why are you talking about this? But I'm just telling you a story. So he's got the that on, and they both think they're like crazy fashion models. They're wearing some like, if you can picture Balenciaga fashion walk, right down the aisle. That's what they're wearing. They come in, and I'm just literally sat there with a notepad and a book in this restaurant on my own at a table of one. Probably the most lonely looking thing you can ever do. But besides the point, these guys are on my left. They're sat there. They sit down. They sat down, and then they just sat there on TikTok the whole time. They had their phones on like 50% volume, both of them. They weren't conversing with one another. They were just sat there with their sushi, sat there on their fucking phone scrolling TikTok with their volume on 50%. 50%. So everyone in the restaurant could hear them, and they just didn't give a fuck. And I mean, I respect that they don't give a fuck, but I mean, it's just disrespectful, right? It's just, I'm sitting trying to journal things. People are trying to have a nice meal, and they're sat there with TikTok on 50% volume. They've gone out for a nice meal, and they're sat there on TikTok, 50% volume, not conversing with each other once. I don't think they even said a word to each other the whole time, whilst they were eating their sushi. They're probably some like influencers or something. I'm pretty sure they weren't English, or they didn't speak English. They were speaking a different language or something. But it just made me think, like, mate, what the fuck has this world come to, man? It's like 10 years ago, people were like, you sit there and you talk. These guys go into a restaurant and they clearly grow up being iPad kids or something, and they don't even look at each other the whole time. They just sit there on fucking TikTok. Who watches TikTok while having dinner? And they were like my age as well. They're like 20. I'm like, mate, this is the whole reason I'm doing this series, because it's such a problem nowadays. It's like people are so fucking addicted to this stuff, man, because it is so addicting. It's how it was built. But it just made me think, I'm like, this is your competition. This is your competition. This is what 90% of people are like nowadays. It made me think, I'm like, mate, what the fuck? They just sat there on their phones the whole time, like while they're having dinner. And the dinner's not cheap. They don't even enjoy the moment. They just sat there like wasting their life away on their phone. You know? I said this thing the other day of enjoying the moment that you're in, and just kind of being present. And yeah, I got it from this. I wrote a blog on it but I got it from this film that I watched. I mean, I never watch films. If you know me, I literally the most uncultured film watcher of all time. But I was watching this film called Soul, and it's like a Disney film. It's like it's actually cool. It's actually good. I actually really like it. I think I've watched it like 4 times. But it's like the storyline behind it, and basically, there's this guy who always wanted, like he's a teacher, he's a jazz teacher at a school, and he always wanted to be in a jazz band or be a jazz performer. So he goes around, and his mum doesn't like that he wants to be a jazz performer. His mum's just like, have a chilled out life. Your dad was a jazz performer. It was stressful for him. Why do you want to be a jazz performer as well? So she obviously sees it as a mum. She wants his son as comfortable and as just to be safe. And that's what all parents want. They want the best for their son, but they don't know what the best is. They just want them to be safe. So she wanted him to just be safe and stay in the job as a jazz teacher, which he didn't enjoy, and just get his pension, get his insurance, get his free health insurance, whatever, from his job, and just do that for the rest of his life. But he wanted other things. So he then went from being a jazz teacher, and his friend calls him up and say, hey, this really big jazz player needs a pianist in the band. Are you down to perform tonight? And he's like, oh my God. This is like a big jazz performer. So he does this thing. But when it actually comes to doing the jazz performance, he does it, cool. It was amazing. He does a really good job, cool. But when he finishes the jazz performance with this band that he's always dreamed of doing ever since he was a kid, he finishes the jazz performance. He goes out the front and he's like, that's it. That's what I've dreamt of my whole life, and that's it. So, I mean, the reason I'm saying this is because so many people think so far into the future. They're like, oh, I can't wait for this. I can't wait to do this. I can't wait to go on holiday. I can't wait to be rich. I can't wait to have this car. I can't wait to do whatever. But you don't actually enjoy the moment you're in. You're always just thinking into the future. So you disregard everything that's happening in the present moment. Everything. Like, you just waste every time. You're basically subconsciously wasting time until that moment comes. Until that moment of you playing with a jazz band comes. You're wasting every moment until that day comes. And then when it comes, it's like, oh, and that's it. So rather than doing that and thinking so far into the future, backtrack and actually be like, okay, this is really cool. I'm in this really nice city in Europe. I'm sat at a sushi restaurant eating sushi. I know it sounds really boring. It sounds dull, I know. It's not even a sushi restaurant. It was a Japanese restaurant, but they did sushi. I'm sat at a sushi restaurant. I keep calling it a sushi restaurant. I'm in Porto. This is nice. The weather's nice today. It's not raining. I'm alive. People would die to be my age. Just anything that you can be grateful for, you just kind of think of it like that and be like, okay, cool. But everyone takes it for granted. But yeah, I'm doing this stuff. I'm here. I'm at this age. I'm eating this sushi, which is really nice, and anyone would love to eat. Everyone that's dead would absolutely love to be in my position. But no, I'm sat there opposite someone on my phone, looking at TikTok for half an hour with my fucking volume on 50%, with the rest of the restaurant listening to all these fucking TikTok songs of, I can't remember any of the songs. I was going to say Renegade, but it's just cringe, so I'm not going to. It's like, fucking enjoy what you're doing, man. Enjoy what you're fucking doing at the time you're doing it. Don't live like, oh yeah, I'm going on holiday in summer. Oh my God. Yeah, it's good to look forward to it, but don't fucking disregard everything you're doing now. Yeah? So that's what I got from that. I got that because he was literally listening to it on full volume and it was pissing me off. But yeah, one word of advice I'd give you today is, yes, it's okay to look into the future, but don't let that allow you to disregard your past. That's the bit of wisdom. Disregard your present moment, sorry. Yeah, it's okay to look into the future, but don't do it to which you then disregard your past. Your present, fuck. Disregard your present. I've butchered that twice. I'm not going to try it again. You get the idea. So, yeah, I mean, it's easy to do that. It's easy to disregard what you're doing in the present moment and think about the future and think about that football match you're going to the weekend or just anything like that you're looking forward to. And it's okay to do. It's okay to look forward to those things, but just don't let it allow you to disregard the fact that you're sat here with your whole family having dinner, or you're sat there watching a movie with your family, you know? Because one day you're not going to be able to do that, and you're going to look back and be like, man, I wish I could do that now. So that's what I got from that. So yeah, bit of wisdom coming from me today. Thank you for watching. I don't think there's anything else I really need to go over, but we go again tomorrow. And I just want to say a big thank you to everyone watching this series, because it's changed my life. Like, I can't explain how much it's changed my life, because I've become a completely different person in the last few days. And I think it's all due to this series, because I want to come to this camera and tell you with full heart that I'm working as best as I can, but I'm also enjoying what I'm doing and I'm not burning out. So yes, it's okay to work 16 hours a day, cool, but do it every day. Yes, people will say burnout's not real. Could be not, I don't know. But what I will say is, don't work so hard that you don't actually enjoy the fruits of life, because if you're working every day, all day, you're just going to completely disregard the fact that you're actually alive. Like, you're working for nothing at that point. So you may as well enjoy it when you can. But yeah, that's what I'll tell you. I just want to give a big shout out to Danny. I don't know what's happened. I've seen that he gave me the inspiration to start this series. And yeah, I started this series. It's absolutely changed my life, and I haven't made this much progress before in a while. So yeah, I'm just going to keep going with it. But I just want to say a big thank you to him. He stopped with his series. I think he got to like day 30, and I'm not saying it's competition. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to fucking beat Danny. But I don't know what made him stop. I would be interested to know what it is, because obviously I'm only at day 17 now. He's obviously I think he got like day 29. That's what I saw. And then he obviously quit and deleted all of his YouTube videos. I would like to know what it was that made him quit, so I can avoid doing that. But as of right now, I have no intention to stop uploading these videos. I'm just going to keep going. I'm sure there will come a day when I'm like, I really can't be asked to do it. But that is the tipping point of whether you're going to be successful or you quit. And we don't quit, we just keep going. The amount of growth I've had from this series is so big. And there is going to come a day when I'm like, yeah, I really can't be fucked doing this anymore. But that's what differs. That's what differs the people who are successful and the people who aren't. And when you know it's something that's going to work and it's working, especially when I've literally got like 50 subscribers in the last like week, why would I stop? You know. So I'm just going to keep doing it, and there's still come a day when I don't want to do it, but I'm just going to keep going. And you can take my word for that. But I would be interested to know what made Danny stop. And yeah, I just want to say a big thank you to him. I'll put his description. I'll put his channel link in the description anyway. I know he's deleted his videos, but I just out of respect and thanks for him. So yeah, anyway, thank you for watching. I feel like I've waffled enough now. So yeah, I hope this video is of some value to you. If you want to like it, feel free. If you don't want to, I don't mind. But what I would appreciate is if you want to sign up to my newsletter. It is in the description. I upload one newsletter a week, every Sunday at around 1 to 4 p.m, something like that. So please subscribe to that. All you've got to do is put your email address in, and that would mean the world. But yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for all the support. Appreciate you, and I'll see you tomorrow night. Cheers.